Researchers discovered that some social media platforms, particularly Facebook, uses information from teens on the network and gives it to advertisers. They exploit the feelings of teens who are vulnerable. We spoke to a young lady who shared her views on this.
So the selling of personal information is bad, but I understand why they do it, because businesses must also make money. It would be nice if it had a disclaimer that said that what is portrayed on Facebook is not reality. That would be cool. That would be cool. So that you know what you see is not really reality, and it reiterates that we don't take responsibility for whatever you do after seeing these Lamborghinis and these champagne bottles. It's not reality.
This has been said to incite vulnerable young people to desire things that they can't afford.
It's not good for any brand to exploit a youngster. I feel like if they want to appeal to them for mutual benefits, then that's perfect.
Social enthusiast Mokebe feels differently about social media.
I love social media. I always say I do it for the gram. So it's because from there I learn a lot, even about myself, the trends that I'm into, information, even what it is that I would like to know about the world or what's happening, people's views. You're able to share insight, your thoughts with everyone else. And it's a public platform, so anybody is welcome to also throw in their input and their understanding of what is going on. So I really enjoy being on social media. I feel like it's very informative, it's current, and if you kind of have an understanding of what you like, then you are able to follow or produce content as well that is also relevant to your life.
We ask, are social media platforms a safe space for young people?
Wow, a lot of interesting comments coming there from young people. They're definitely giving us a lot of food for thought. But to take this discussion further, I'm joined in studio by Mokebe Thulo, who is the platform manager of HDI Youth Marketeers. Welcome to Expressions.
Thank you, Jackie.
It's interesting that we've got Expressions, and the topic that we're talking about today is about young people expressing themselves in social media. But we're definitely going to unpack this with you a little bit later. If you're wondering what happens to Umkolisi, well, of course, he is now at the side of our studio that is more social media driven, and he's going to be giving us a lot of analysis and perspective from young people on this topic that we're discussing. But we want to get straight into this topic. I mean, it was interesting that the top, at least some of the things that young people were saying quite, at least in that insert, was just that, they love social media. Some of them hate social media. Some of them feel that it's not a safe space. And I think maybe the question we should start with, is it a safe space for young people?
I mean, I don't think you can generalize whether social media is either a safe or unsafe place for young people. Everybody has different experiences, as I mean, we've heard in the clips before this. Some people have positive experiences on the different platforms, while some people have very negative experiences on these platforms. But I think the important part to consider is to educate the young people that are using these platforms enough, particularly around the ways in which they're using it and around the ways in which they are exposing themselves, and the security possibly fears around the stuff that they're putting on these platforms that might be leading to this danger that they speak of.
I mean, they're talking about, at least the term that is coined around what at least Facebook is allegedly responsible for doing. It's called sentimental analysis, where basically advertisers will direct products according to how you're feeling. I mean, is that necessarily a bad thing? So if Facebook knows I'm sad today, and then they direct a product, or at least they get an advertiser to direct a product according to how I feel, is that necessarily a bad thing?
No, I would say it's definitely not necessarily a bad thing, but very important to point out in this particular story is that Facebook allegedly sold this data to one of the leading banks in the story, which means that we don't know what this bank wanted to use that content for, or what kind of content they wanted to share with the users to what end. So it's not, again, necessarily a good or bad thing. It depends on the marketers involved and how involved they are in caring about the interests of the young people that they are speaking to.
And let's talk about these interests, because I think that is fundamentally the key issue that we need to focus on. I mean, some of the young people during the inserts were talking about the fact that you know, they feel there's a pressure that is there around the fact that, you know, you have to buy expensive things, and they feel that, you know, it comes across as if they can't live up to the standards that's being created. Again, I mean, I want to understand. I mean, are they creating these pressures that are making young people feel inadequate?
I don't know. I think the answer to that question might be what is advertising and what is marketing and what are marketers trying to accomplish. I think at the end of the day, a lot of products or brands are trying to, for example, create FOMO in the lives of people, not just in the lives of young people. So it is about creating that desire for a specific brand. And I think that young people specifically often fall into that trap. I mean, anecdotally, we hear a number of stories where young people start feeling all sorts of anxiety because the images they see on social media are things that they feel that they can't live up to. One of the articles, which I read earlier, in fact, had a 16-year-old boy questioning himself about why is it that every time I see pictures or images of the parties that my peers go to, they look like so much fun, but none of the parties that I go to.
It always looks like they're having so much fun, but you always feel left out. You always feel like, oh my goodness, I wish I was part of the in crowd, right?
Yes, but the happy part about the ending of the statement that this boy made was that he realized that he is going to those very parties, and the reason that he doesn't have fun at these parties is because everybody is staring down at their phone, taking pictures and posting them on social media for other people to envy.
And it's interesting. I mean, whenever you think about social media, how many of us really think about, you know, the terms and conditions, whether we are protected, whether, you know, we're safe on it? And I think I want us to now tackle that a little bit more to find out, I mean, do we understand what the legal boundaries are when it comes to what we do on social media? But Mokebe, you definitely have to stay with us, because I know right now you're probably tweeting or you're on Facebook or saying something about expression. So make sure you stay with us. We'll be back right after this.